welcome back to Thomas Goes Nostalgic. This is part 3 of the Tmnt NECA Diorama that I'm building. So in the first video I worked on the sewer layer, on the second video I worked on the Technodrome, and I was ready to call it quits, but there's one little piece that I wanted to do, and that was just to add a street scene to this building. So this is the NECA cartoon diorama for the Tmnt figures. And this probably would be the easier thing that I've done, but just a nice little way to cap off this project. So we did those two, which were kind of testing my skill level. And this one should be a lot easier. So this will be a nice way to end it. And if I decide to do more, we'll think of some ideas that we can do there. But this is a really great diorama. It came with some really cool accessories. The antenna here from the Channel 6 news building, the backdrop, which you can switch it from night to day. I like to keep it on night. Came with some streetwear, so you got the fire hydrant and the sewer cap, and then it also came with a pizza sign. So this is cool. You can either put it on some legs and keep it propped up here, or I like to keep it on the side of the building. So there's a few pegs that I can just go into. So pretty neat. We'll look at some of the steps that I took, but this really wasn't a difficult project. I would say maybe I should have started with this, but this is really just one piece of foam, a few little extra details that I've added in, and that's really it. So once I'm done with that, I think I can call the Tmnt diorama done for now.
Okay, so just looking at the setup, the Technodrome's on that shelf, then the sewer layer, and then when we go above, we're going to see the Tmnt NECA cartoon diorama. And I didn't just want it sitting on shelf, so I wanted there to be one extra layer between the sewer and the building, and that would be the actual street. So this would just be a few details, one piece of foam. I'm just going to add some slight touches to it, but then that should be it. And in doing some research, I was trying to figure out what to use for a fence. So I saw someone recommended this gutter guard used for protecting your gutters from leaves, and it turns out it works great with 1/12 scale. I bought a roll of it so this would last me. I'm just going to glue a few posts, wooden dowels, to a piece of this gutter guard that I cut, and that will be my fence. You can see I just glued it together, nothing too extreme. You can also use those straw pipes to use as the railing. And then I'm just going to give this a quick spray paint of metallic just to see how it looks, but I think just as a fence this looks pretty decent. And yeah, it came out pretty cool. Probably different ways I would do it. Maybe I'd secure with zip ties to make it look like the bearings on an actual fence, but for my first time building a fence, and if it's your first time wanting to try it, this is definitely an easy method to do so. And that's dry, so we're going to attach it to the board eventually, but the piece of foam that I used, there wasn't much to show. All I did was just rough up the edges, and I outlined where the building would go. Right now I did Dremel a small hole into the foam, just kind of small indentations, and that's where my sewer entry is going to be. You can see I glued the fence onto the foam. I put that neon green, that neon black light where the sewer cap is, outline the yellow, and now it's time to seal it. Like I said, this would be an easy project. This is just going to be a nice touch to put between the building and the actual shelf. And we're letting it dry. It came out pretty cool. Some small dry brushing. I did use a Playmates figure to put the footprints there, and then the fence, but let's get a better look.
Okay, so this is really it. So you have the building on top of the asphalt. This is one piece of foam, a few extra details, but this is a couple hours project max. I really just cut out a square, a rectangular shape here. I roughed it up a little bit, did some dry brushing to make some of the cracks pop, and I added some of my own touch to it. So on the right you can see where the sewer hole is, and I put some neon black light green paint in. I wanted it to look like ooze. Along the alleyway I put a fence. That's just some wooden dowels and gutter guard. That's just you can buy a roll of gutter guard. It's plastic and it looks really great as a fence when you spray paint it metallic. And then I took an old retro vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figure, and I dipped his feet in the neon green, and I just made little footprints. So if two turtles were coming out of the sewer, I don't know why they would have ooze on them. It was just a fun idea I had. Really, the only thing I had to do was line the building with the yellow, just so it was a nice transition. And then that's it. So let's get some figures on and see how it looks. Alright folks, this is it. I have about 3 different pieces that go along with this diorama. If you watched one of my first videos, you have the sewer layer. Underneath that, that's the Technodrome. And on top, right underneath the street scene diorama, I did like the asphalt and the alleyway with the fence. So I'm ready to call this project complete for now. There's a lot more turtles on the way, but let's get some close-ups and see how it all looks together. Alright folks, that is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you stuck around through part 1, 2, and 3 of my TMNT NECA Diorama build. It was a great time. It was a great learning experience for me, and I hope if you did watch the videos and you're thinking about building dioramas, that you might be inspired to go ahead and try it out for yourself. There was a lot of great YouTubers that I watched that really inspired me to get started, so it was a good time. If you can see, I have a few more TMNT figures that I haven't opened yet, and that's because the next time I focus on Ninja Turtles, I do want to do a true tutorial where I show step by step how I build diorama. This way, if you are thinking about doing it, if you're nervous, I can break it down as easy as possible and show you just how some of the basic steps to make something look the way you want it. So hopefully I can do that next, but other than that, I had a great time. I have some other projects coming around, and I hope you all enjoyed watching the video so far. But thank you very much, guys. Have a great day.